So fucking what? Well, I've been to Hastings and I've been to Brighton, I've been to Eastbourne too. So what? So what? And I've been here, and I've been there, and I've been every fucking where. So what? So what? So what? So what, you boy little cunt? Well, who cares? Who cares what you do? And who cares? Who cares about you? So sweet, and I suck rock, and I'm even such an old man's cock. So what? So what? And I fucked the sheep, and I fucked the goat, I've had my cock right down each throat. So what? So what? So what? So what, you boy little cunt? Well, who cares? Who cares what you do? And who cares? Who cares about you? You! Drunk that, and I drunk this, I skewed up on a pint of piss. So what? So what? And I've had scat, I've had speed, I'm jacked up until I bleed. So what? So what? So what? So what, you boy little cunt? Well, who cares? Who cares what you do? And who cares? Who cares about you? Well, I've had crabs, and I've had life, and I've had the pox, and that ain't nice. So what? So what? And I fucked this, and I fucked that, and I've even fucked a schoolgirl. So what? So what? So what? So what, you boy little cunt? Who cares? Who cares about you? Well, who cares? Who cares about you?
Woo! A warm welcome, everybody, back to our channel. I'm Mrs Moonstomper.
And I'm Mr Moonstomper. Guys, it's absolutely amazing to have you on board. Thank you so much for stopping by. We really do appreciate it. Just a quick one before we delve into today's topic, as it were. And that is a massive thank you.
Yes, very massive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Massive thank you.
We've reached 2,000 subs.
Oh yeah.
Plus. So if you're new to the channel, thank you so much for subscribing.
Yes.
It means the absolute world to us.
Welcome aboard.
And the more that people subscribe, the more that people watch, the more it drives us to do more things.
That's it. Drives us to carry on.
Get bigger and better.
Continue. Oh,
and
yes.
yeah, long may that continue. So guys, thank you so much. So if you're new, welcome on board and welcome back to our OG subs. We love you all, guys.
Yes, love you.
So, Mrs Moonstomper,
Yes, Mr Moonstomper.
now that my voice is back,
Pity, not really.
yeah, absolutely much to everybody's annoyance, especially you and those at
That'll
work
be fine.
who haven't had a moment's peace since it came back. My opera singing is now on point.
Just
Not.
like Pavarotti, not.
Yeah, okay, right. So, today's subject, the Anti-Nowhere League.
Yes.
Wow. Wow.
ANWL,
Yeah.
as they're known as well.
So, we weren't going to do this, then we were going to do it. We on
That's
and on
it.
about it, and
I was going to do something else, but we didn't.
Yeah.
Ended up
And
doing this.
I think this band just deserves a mention.
Yes.
It really does. Now,
Yes.
yeah, some of you might not like it. I like it because it's absolutely dirty, filthy, disgusting.
Dear.
It's punk, it's rock, it's hardcore, it's everything he wants to be,
That's
and it's colourful. It's just colourful to say the least.
More than the rainbow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the band that captured everybody's attention.
Be they ever.
For the wrong reasons, but actually for the right reasons, in my humble opinion.
That's it.
Yeah.
Opinions differ also.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is the band that upset Mary Whitehouse. This is the band that upset Tony Blackburn.
Okay.
Yeah. This is the band it's another band that John Peel advocated
Oh yes.
and played.
Big up to the John Peel.
Yeah. And this is a band to be celebrated, in my own humble opinion, once again.
Yes.
So, Mrs Moonstomper,
Oh.
Mrs Moonstomper, right, what do you know about the Anti-Nowhere League?
Well, they're
or what can you tell the viewers?
Yes. Firstly, they're from the royal town of Tonbridge Wells.
Now, Tonbridge Wells, the
In
royal
Kent.
town of Tonbridge Wells, in the Kent, the Garden of England, sort of south of London, for those of you who aren't from the UK. Now,
Okay.
nothing happens in Tonbridge Wells,
Oh.
except it actually does.
It just reminds you of like a posh town, the royal town of Tonbridge.
Well, it's one of those places. It's quaint from the outside.
Yes,
But
that's why I pictured
so
as well.
Sid Vicious was actually from Tunbridge Wells,
All right.
and I think there were a couple of other sort of notable mentions. I think Paul Weller lives in Tunbridge Wells for some bizarre reason, and there's a couple of other people as well. So it's not as sort of anti-rock and roll as you think.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now for Sid Vicious, like one of the
Sex Pistols.
the dirtiest bastards ever.
Yes.
But that was punk through and through. Then absolutely. So you kind of see where the Anti-Nowhere League get it from.
Yes.
So Tunbridge Wells. So when did they form? Then Mrs Moonstomper.
Around 79, 80.
79, 80.
Yes.
There or thereabouts. Now, billed as a punk band, but hardcore.
Hardcore biker as well.
Well, biker influences. So the lead singer, Nick Colmer,
Yes.
also known as Animal,
That's it.
who is the only surviving member,
Okay.
or the only member all the way through.
That's it. The longest serving.
Yeah, absolutely, still there now.
Yes.
He sort of grew up in and around the biking culture, which is it's different, believe you me.
Right.
Now I know loads of those guys.
Yes.
I ride bikes myself, so
Yes.
I just know loads and loads of those guys.
Yes.
And that's a brotherhood.
It is.
It really is. So I kind of get where Animal's coming from
Yes.
on this, and that's why I kind of like the bloke. So what else do you know, Mrs Moonstomper?
They all seem to have nicknames. You just mentioned the singer, Animal. The guitarist, Chris Exall, known as Magoo. Yes, and the drums, Tony Shaw, known as Bones.
That was the baggy on the bass, was it?
On the bass.
Chris Elvey was it?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
and that was the original. It was the original lineup. Now, their first gig was at a
Yes.
carnival, wasn't it?
Yes.
In Tunbridge Wells, of all places, and. Right, I've got a feeling that gig was unauthorised, if my memory serves me correctly, and I've got a feeling like I can't remember if they got locked up for it.
I think they got arrested.
Yeah,
They got arrested, yes.
and that's kind of how the band. I mean, they didn't get arrested all the time.
No.
But they had quite a few scrapes, didn't they?
They're
In fact,
notorious for it.
yeah, quite a few scrapes, and I would say. That's what put that band sort of. It puts that band in the spotlight, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Yes. Yes. And the sound is known as deafening. That's why they got arrested off stage, because the singing and the music. People like covering their ears and say, "Oh, this is too noisy. They couldn't handle the noise."
it's a bit like sort of it doesn't fall into the same category as Motorhead, except it does. But it's not the same music, not even the same music.
No, it isn't.
Motorhead is well drilled, well rehearsed, and it had been for sort of 5 years at that point in time.
Yes.
But if you sort of lump those together with Motorhead and the Damned, then you wouldn't be far wrong.
They managed to grab a tour with the Exploited and the Antipasti as well.
Antipasti. So, but that led them right. So if that led him to sign their first record deal with WXYZ,
Yes.
if I remember, and I would say that is where the story really begins for those guys.
Okay.
So their first single was a cover, and it was a really unusual cover.
Oh yes.
So there's a guy called Ralph McTell who did a song,
60s folk singer.
yeah, Streets of London.
Yes.
And they covered that in true punk style, and I've got to say, it was absolutely brilliant.
Yes, it was.
Now, that was played by John Peel.
Oh yes.
It was him who picked it up straight away, all new music, and he sort of like went out and played it, and it got to number 48 in the UK charts.
Goodness me.
So and at that point in time, it was on the verge of breaking the top 40. However, on the B side, there was a track on the B side which put the skids on everything.
Alright.
So, do you know what that track was?
Is that So What?
Yeah.
So What?
So, guys, if you don't know, well, if you don't know this band, right, that was the track at the beginning of this video. So What? Now, if you heard the lyrics, then you know.
Naughty.
If you know the band, then you know. If you don't know, go back and listen to the lyrics.
Yes.
In fact, download the lyrics.
Gosh.
They are toe-curlingly bad.
Naughty.
Like really, really naughty. So that's right. That is the record that's got them into trouble. Into big trouble. So there was in the early 80s, in fact, all the way through like the sort of late 70s and 80s, up until probably recently, there was a sort of police group called the Obscene Publication Squad,
Alright, gosh.
and they got hold of it, and literally they confiscated all the unsold singles, and I think there was what 12,000, 20,000 copies. I don't know how many thousand copies were. They confiscated the lot, and the band couldn't sell them anymore. But that was supposed to be on their first LP.
Yes.
Now, their first LP, We Are the League, that is an absolute punk classic.
Oh, yes.
But that single did not make the LP, So
right.
What? Because it was a B-side. So Streets of London, the A-side, that made We Are the League.
Yes.
But literally, that LP, We Are the League, is an absolute, it's as, to me, and I would say to a lot of journalists actually, it's as important as Never Mind the Bollocks.
Oh yes.
Here's the Sex Pistols.
Sex Pistols.
Yeah, it's as good as that. It literally is. It's just raw, and it's that's the music that makes you want to kick Granny down the stairs.
God.
Yeah, that
No,
one.
don't do it.
But do you know?
Oh,
Right. So that record, the record So What? Do you know the story behind why they actually made that?
I'm not really sure.
No, right.
No.
So they were in a pub and they overheard two blokes talking to each other.
Okay.
Saying,
As
well,
you do.
well, I've done this, and the other one was like, so what? Well, I've done this, and
Oh
it's
gosh, one of
so.
those.
If you're British, then you'll know it's like it's a one-upmanship thing on who can tell the tallest story.
Yes.
And
Tallest tale.
yeah, so their take on that was just a
Oh, I see.
yeah.
Makes
So
sense.
it's a proper piss take.
Oh yes, yes.
But I find it hilarious.
It
But
is.
I've always loved that record. However, you know, I kind of get why you can't play that on radio
Oh man.
or television for that matter.
Yes.
But
The obscenities in the song.
yeah, but what I'll say is lighten up, guys. You know, it's
Yeah.
it's just a few words. You know, they didn't actually do those things.
I know.
You know, he didn't spew up on a pint of piss, and he didn't put his what's name in like funny.
Down a goat's throat.
Yeah, exactly. Bestiality was not his thing, according to him.
Oh dear. Or doing things with them pensioners, like you mentioned.
Or schoolgirls for that matter, which
No.
is just like whoa, yeah. So
It's just words, people.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, remember.
But yeah, that got him into massive trouble.
So when you say that, you said Mary Whitehouse and Tony Blackburn. They did it to themselves. They
What bestiality?
No.
Oh, sorry, no. Oh,
When you said it upset them. Oh. When you said it upset them, they upset themselves.
well, they chose to be upset,
Yes.
didn't they? Yeah, absolutely.
So there.
But you know, still not worthy of radio play. However,
However.
that was the record that put them on the map,
Oh yes.
and how do you even top that record?
You call, can you?
Well,
Well, somebody out there can.
you can
something
do, but
else.
I mean, there was, you
Just
know,
as bad.
there were, well, there were other, you know, there were other singles that were equally as like vulgar, but it was just designed that way.
Oh yes.
It was just, it was just. They also had a brush with the National Front as well,
Oh right.
where they had a bit of a spat with the National Front, and I can't remember what record it was they did that got up the National Front's nose, and they just. But then again, you know, that's
Again, they chose to.
Yeah, exactly.
Let
Exactly.
whatever gets up the
It's an
downloads.
opinion, and they're entitled to their opinion. You know, whether it be, it just is, isn't it?
Oh yes.
Yeah. They also toured with the Damned as well.
Oh yes.
Just
they did.
before they sort of brought out straight to London. It was only a short tour around the north of England.
They were doing ever so well off the back of the We Are the League LP in '82.
They were indeed.
Yes.
But didn't they? So they went on rock. If I remember right, they went on tour with. I'm going to say it was it the UK subs
Yes.
where they went to America. And I think it was Hardcore Storms America, if I remember rightly.
Okay.
That tour with and they did quite well off the back of that as well. However, all was not what it seems.
Oh,
So in
I wonder why.
I think it was '87 where they did a live in Yugoslavia LP
Yes, they did.
in '83. But that was if you listen to that, to be quite honest with you, it's freaking awful.
Okay.
It's the mix is just it's absolutely crap, to be honest with
Oh
you.
my gosh.
And you know it's really, really bad sound quality. But when they got there,
Yes.
if I remember right, I think they got arrested there and had the equipment confiscated.
Yes.
Because it was just, they've sort of arrived at this sort of this communist Eastern European country, and they're all like, well, what are you actually doing here? And I think there were protests outside the concert hall they were playing.
Yes, there was.
And so they literally, they got nicked and their equipment confiscated. It's like, wow, you know. But
Feel
there
that,
you
man.
go. That was the Eastern Bloc for you in those days. You know, they've not seen the like of that.
Gosh.
You know,
Is it called? It's not called Yugoslavia anymore, is it? Has it changed? Or is it still Yugoslavia?
I don't think
I think it changed, didn't
didn't it change to like sort of Bosnia and Herzegovina or something?
Something like that.
I don't know. Who knows?
I forget now.
Or it was something like that. Yeah. I think it's like former Yugoslavia, isn't it? Like,
Former Yugoslavia.
yeah.
I just remembered, yeah.
I can't remember. So it's not, but there you go. So, and he got banned from Top of the Pops. Animal got banned from Top of the Pops as well.
Yeah, for wielding a weapon.
An axe. Well,
An axe, of all
okay,
things.
as you do. So yeah, but
Slung out to get out with that thing.
but yeah, I mean, the thing is, what I'll say is, in sort of '77, punk in the UK died. except it didn't.
Again, it was dwindling, wasn't it? It was just like hanging on for dear life sort of thing.
There's punk and there's punk, and so there's mainstream punk that will end up on top of the pops.
Oh yes.
Bands like the Sex Pistols would end up on top of the pops, and the Stranglers, the
rest of them.
the Buzzcocks.
Buzzcocks, yeah.
However, there was bands that would never be on top of the pops.
Oh.
Bands such as.
Oh, this lot.
Yep.
Yes.
So.
Because of their antics.
Overground and underground. So hardcore was very much underground. So when you look at our Black Flag video, some of our viewers said, "I've never heard of those."
That's it. There's quite a few actually.
And if you're UK based, the chances are, or Australia based, New Zealand based, then the chances are you might not have heard of those guys.
Okay, that's it.
Because they were very, very underground, but it was people like Rollins who put them above ground.
Oh, yes.
But only later on where people found out who Henry Rollins was,
Oh, yes.
and they went back and they were like, "Oh wow, okay, I didn't know it was a thing. Now they do know it's a thing." Yeah.
Oh yes. No, you know.
But the Anti-Nowhere League just they got notoriety
Right.
through their antics, obviously.
Yes. Goodness.
So there you go.
Yes.
And then was
There you
it
have it.
87? Was it 87?
Yeah.
They changed completely.
They did.
So they went to sort of, what would you call it? Sort of synth type new wave.
Oh yes.
They went to new wave, and to be quite honest with you, it just looked like I'm going to say.
Isn't it the same?
Well, no. If you look at them, Animal actually looked like Mel Gibson. So the band actually looked like Mel Gibson and the Mel Gibsons, or it just looked like
Especially the hair.
Well, it looked like a heart. They supported Big Country.
Okay.
Now, I'm not knocking Big Country.
No,
'cause
Big Country are great.
Big Country are brilliant. And Stuart Adamson was an absolutely amazing guitarist, right from the Skids, obviously. But it's not the Anti-Nowhere League.
It's completely different.
You could hear
It's a hell of a
you could
difference.
kind of get like the punk influence, but even Lemmy said to Animal, he said that LP's shit and your music is shit.
Coming from Lemmy, that must be true.
Well, do you know what? It's just that's
It's got to be true,
that's the
it's
ultimate
Lemmy.
insult. If Lemmy says it's shit,
That's
then
it.
I'm not.
You know it's shit.
Well, yeah, that's that's quite sort of
Lemmy's the Don man.
That's
Big
quite
up
sort
for
of
Lemmy as well.
that's damning. That is, it really is. Yeah. So.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, and I think there's actually a clip of there's a clip of him on YouTube, and it's in fact what we'll try and do is dig a clip out. If I can
right.
find that clip, we'll show it, and it will be now.
Here it comes, here it comes, here it comes to shine there. Now here it comes, now here it comes, now here comes to shine there. Oh, 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 oh,
Ooh. Yeah. Gosh.
So yeah, I mean, your opinions and my opinion is, I think Lemmy might be right. It was just like, nah.
Oh, Lemmy.
Nah.
Nah.
So what I think we should do is, I think we should have a bit of a break.
fucking war.
All right, gentlemen.
What can I get you, Governor?
Jack Daniels, please, landlord. All right, boys. Why'd you look so fucking miserable then? Thank you, Governor. Cheers, gentlemen.
So what you guys been up to then?
Well, I've been to Hastings, and I've been to Brighton, and I've been to Eastbourne too.
So what?
Well, I've been here, and I've been there, and I've been every fucking where.
So what, you boring little cunt? Yeah.
Yeah, Barnsley, that was all very, very fucking good, wasn't it? Like, there must be something more interesting to do in. Sammy, what have you been doing?
I've sucked sweets, and I've sucked rock, and I've even sucked an old man's cock. So what? I've also fucked a sheep, and I've fucked a goat, and I've had my cock locked down his throat.
Say what, you fucking Yeah. He sucked an old man's cock, yeah. Probably a young man's cock anyway, but let's get something more interesting. Tommy, what have you been doing?
Well, I've been drinking, mate.
Yeah, but you always fucking drink.
Yeah.
It's not interesting.
But I've drunk that. I drank this. I even spewed up on a pint of piss.
Old man's piss, I hope.
After that, I was so fucking hungover. We ended up getting in some skag. We had a bit of speed. I jacked up until I bleed.
So what, you boring little cunt?
Who cares? Who cares what you do? Okay, gentlemen, this is what I've been doing. I've had crabs, I've had lice, and I've had the pox, and that ain't fucking nice.
What, you boring little
Right.
cunt?
Okay, but I fucked this, and I fucked that, and I've even fucked a schoolgirl's twat at punk rock bowling. Schoolgirl's twat.
Yeah, but who cares about you?
Who cares about you? Who cares about you? Who cares about you? Who cares about you? Now fuck off out my pub.
Fucking very nice,
Fuck
isn't
off.
it? I don't even know why I fucking come here.
We've got no more gigs to do anyway, so get the fuck out of here.
We'll be back. When we do punk rock bowling, we will be back. The landlord is a fucking wanker.
Hey, welcome back everybody. Hope you enjoyed that.
Yeah, hope you did. So we were talking, so 1987, that LP, which was their lot sort of new wave thing, was called The Perfect Crime.
Oh yes.
And I think it was actually the perfect crime they committed there, just saying. But,
Yeah.
yes, so they kind of split up after that, they sort of parted ways, probably due to the fact that that was actually a flop.
Oh dear.
But they've always had a troubled existence.
Yes.
Now, Animal was, right, he went to college
Okay.
and he sort of learnt to be a builder.
Yes.
And he was sort of working on building projects, etc., etc. And during that sort of hiatus of 4 or 5 years, there was a certain band that were taking the world by storm.
Oh.
Now that band's Metallica,
Oh yes.
who were absolutely by the late 80s,
Yes.
when they came out with And Justice for All, they were absolutely huge. They were one of the biggest bands on the planet,
Yes.
and rising and rising and rising. And they, was it 1992 that Animal got a phone call
Yes.
from John
Birch.
Birch,
JB.
telling them that Metallica wanted him to appear on stage at Wembley
Oh yes.
because they were covering So
So
What.
what? Yes.
Animal didn't know who Metallica were, did they? Hadn't got a scuba.
No.
Not a clue.
Is that when he was working on his car or something?
I think he was actually working on his car or a roof or something like that. He was
I think
working
it
on
was
something.
yes,
It was just like,
yes.
what the hell, what, you know.
And busy tinkering away, and he got this call.
Who is his band? Who, you know? So he's. But literally, what did he say? He said he got to Wembley,
Yes.
and he said he was shitting himself, didn't he?
Yes, proper nervous.
Yeah. Forgot all the words to say what. He was like, couldn't remember anything. His mind just went completely
What the
blank.
hell?
But he just noticed straight away. Now they wanted him to go on tour
Okay,
with him
yes.
across the world.
Yes.
And he'd never seen the like of lots of private jets, their own chefs,
Gosh.
equipment that actually worked.
Living the dream.
Yeah, because he'd been just like used to sort of like
Like the basics and all
well,
that.
yeah, microphones that actually plugged in with leads, and guitars that plugged in with leads. You'd never seen radio controlled anything.
Oh man.
And like huge, great big sort of PA systems. Now he played at Wembley before,
Yes.
but only a support function. But to go to Wembley and stand on stage in front of tens of thousands of screaming fans doing that, he just said it was an absolute blast.
Yes.
And it was Metallica that talked him out of quitting it, because they said to him, "Why did you quit?"
Whatever.
And he just quit because he did.
There's nothing else was there.
Well, he didn't think there was anything else.
No.
But, and other members of the band. So by which time they had been through quite a few members of the band.
Yes, they have. Yeah.
I just think there's
different drummers, basses, guitars, and all that.
yeah, massively, massively. But it was that actually put him back on the map.
You did, yes.
Funnily enough.
Yes.
But other bands had covered other Anti-Nowhere League songs as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Goodness me.
Mm.
They had problems with drugs and alcohol as well. The band did. The ANWL.
Yeah, it's just yeah.
I suppose it's rock and roll. It goes hand in hand, doesn't it?
Yeah, tell me a band that didn't have trouble with drugs and alcohol. Led Zeppelin,
Yes.
massive,
Almost all of them.
massive troubles.
Gosh.
Now just not pick a band that didn't. Black Sabbath. Yeah, AC/DC.
Yes. The whole bunch of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Too many to mention.
Yeah, and the thing, what I'll say there is, again, it's you're young. You've got a huge disposable income. So you think, normally advanced.
So led to believe.
Well, normally advanced by record companies.
Yes.
And when you've bought all the fast cars, houses, motorbikes, helicopters, whatever you've bought,
Yes.
and you've
Gosh.
literally you've slept with that many people, and you've
Oh God.
you've drank that much. What else do you do with your money?
I know.
How else do you pass your time? Because you're not constantly sitting there writing your next record studiously.
No. I'm just thinking about your next fancy thing, like you said, car, house.
Yeah, it's like watch they do today. You're not going to get up and go to work all of a sudden.
No.
Let's get high. Do you know what
Yes.
I mean? The devil makes work for idle hands. Yeah.
So they say.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, so it's
a good
true.
sign.
It's
Yeah.
so true.
I can't wait till I retire. I'll have very idle hands then, or not very idle hands.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
Mr. Lego hand. No, just joking, guys. Just joking. Right, so
Oh God, yes.
in '97, they produced an LP called Scum,
Yes.
which I think is a really, really, really good LP.
Oh yes.
And I mean, that's like sort of 10 years later, isn't it?
Okay.
Now,
Yes.
they've done compilations in between. Those get released.
Yes.
But you can see they were back.
Yes.
Albeit in a different guise.
Back on the scene. Yes.
But they went heavy metal
Okay. Yes.
for a time, and it didn't suit them.
Oh no.
So they went back to the punk roots.
Yes.
And there's a difference between heavy metal and punk.
Oh yes.
A massive difference.
Sort of similar, but not quite.
It's more similar in overdriven guitars and volume.
Oh yes. Yes.
But heavy metal's just got screaming riffs, screaming solos. Normally really, really well played. Although people take the piss out of heavy metal, it's an easy genre to play,
Yes.
but it's a hard genre to play really, really well.
I see.
Yeah.
Mr Moonstomper in 2005 did another album. Kings and Queens, was it?
Yeah, it was Kings and Queens, so it was like 8 years after Scum.
Okay.
And then,
A couple of years later, they had another one. Road to Rampton, was it?
Road to Rampton, that's right. So that is basically that's Animal's life story.
Okay.
Of all his sort of childhood misdemeanours. And how he ended up in jail.
Is that Rampton is referring to Rampton, that institution?
Rampton's a secure hospital.
Oh yes. It was something like
Right.
that.
However, he didn't actually end up in there.
Oh.
But he was that close. So if you listen to that,
Yeah.
it's actually a story of how he nearly ended up like in a bloody mental asylum.
Oh yes. Oh gosh.
Just through offending, etc. Through being misunderstood,
Yeah.
as you do. But it's quite a. I think that's quite a journey.
Yeah.
And it's very tongue in cheek, but if you listen to it, it's I'm not saying it's a cry for help, but it's just like wow,
No.
that's just like different. It's completely
dear.
different. But do you know something? So about that chap, right? He's
yes.
right because he's been accused of everything. He's been accused of being racist, sexist, homophobic, every phobic you can ever imagine.
Think of.
However, he grew up listening to reggae.
Oh yeah.
That was his thing. In fact, I think the first record he ever bought was by the Equals or something like that.
Oh, the Eddie Grant and 60s.
Yeah, Eddie Grant's Equals, the Equals.
Of course.
And that got him into reggae, and it got him into like ska and stuff like that.
Oh yes.
And that's at the heart of everything he. That's at the heart of everything he does.
Yes.
Funnily enough, but the reason he got into reggae was, as a lad, he was working with what he said he was working a lot with a Jamaican. His best friend was a Jamaican,
Gosh.
and they were lots of working on the farm. And this Jamaican would stop every sort of 5 or 10 minutes. He'd go, "Do you hear that?" And he'd be going, "What? Hear what?" And he'd go, "That's rhythm. That is. I can hear rhythm."
Oh, it's like different sounds all around.
Different sounds, and he'd be referring to the noise of the tractor.
Oh
Like
yeah.
the thrum of the tractor engine,
I
and
see.
you go, "That's rhythm, that is." Then he'd sing these little ditties over the noise of the tractor.
Oh, that's so clever.
And he said, "You being a white boy," he said, "you'd never get rhythm."
Okay.
And that made him try harder. But he said even at school he tried to do music, and he was told he was absolutely awful at music.
Gosh.
But again, that reggae influence, which I didn't know when I first heard those. Not a clue.
Okay. So
Not.
this pushed him to go further onto the reggae scene. He's determined to break through.
Well, I don't know
That's
if
what
it's
people are
to
telling
break
you,
through.
isn't it?
It's like sometimes what I'll say about music is you don't always play what you listen to.
Right.
I didn't play, especially in the band. I didn't play what I listened to
No.
at all.
No.
It was close, but not that close.
Okay. Close but no cigar.
Pretty much so, yeah. Pretty much so.
Oh god.
It's a band that never had major success for some reason.
No,
A bit like,
didn't
what I'd
they?
say, a bit like Cock Sparrow.
Okay.
They deserved so much more than they actually got.
Was just a little bit underground, weren't they? Or not so much above ground.
Yeah, underground, but literally wherever that band show up,
Yes.
they'll sell out.
Alright.
Because
yes.
everybody wants to see that band live. Everybody.
And why not?
2016 they did The Cage.
Oh yes.
Then 2017 they did the LP that surprised me the most. That just really actually bowled me over.
Oh, what's this thing?
League style,
Okay.
and it was their take on different reggae classics.
Oh, the reggae one. Oh yes.
Which is just, and I've got to say,
We've had a listen to it, haven't we?
what reggae done in that style.
I know.
It's just
Like reggae rock, especially like the Johnny Too Bad.
well, Yeah.
They made a good deal of that, I reckon.
They made a great fist of the whole lot.
Yes.
You know, if you listen to UB40's version of Johnny Two Bad, it's shit.
I know, I don't...
It's awful. But they did.
Not like
They did other classics as well, didn't they?
Yeah, it's like Susan Beware, Dandy Livingstone's Susan Beware of the Devil.
Yeah, and the Kingstons as well.
Yeah,
and
Singer Man, that Singer Man song, Sing Me a Song. That's
guys, if you haven't
Reggae Rock Man.
if you haven't heard that LP, go and check it out. It'll absolutely surprise you. It's the most.
It is.
It's the most pleasant surprise.
Yes, I found.
Yeah, and what it shows is how talented that band actually is.
Definitely, without a doubt.
They're not difficult songs to play,
Oh.
but they're difficult songs to nail.
All right.
To nail and to get
That's
it right.
to me, yeah. Because to us, it sounds. They pulled it off, and it sounds on point.
It's massively on point. Absolutely massively on point. And do you know what? The band's still going. It's still going in different guise,
Yeah.
but it's still there. And if you haven't seen them live, go and see them live. They'll absolutely bowl you over. They're just, it's raucous, it's dirty, it's filthy, it's in your face, and that is as hardcore gets, in my opinion. And you know, equally like with bands like the UK subs, you know, it's
Okay.
it really is.
I know this is different. Now, this hasn't got anything to do with this topic. You know, Alien Ant Farm, when they covered Michael Jackson's. I know you don't think they did a good job, but in my opinion, I think they did a good cover of Smooth Criminal.
Well, to be honest with you, I think both versions were shit. To be honest with you,
Oh,
but,
that's your opinion.
Well, yeah, exactly. You know, but you know.
Anyway, as Mr Moonstomper would say, we digress completely. We've got to get back on track.
Yeah, you did go into Michael Jackson like that. Wow.
An Alien Ant Farm.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
they're cool,
On this channel. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So what?
Yeah. Exactly. So fucking what? You know.
Fucking what?
Yeah. Exactly that. So, have you got anything else on the Anti-Nowhere League?
I think I've run out of tape, so to speak. I can't think of anything else. Sorry.
No, don't apologise. An absolutely amazing band. Guys, give them some love. Go check them out. I think they're amazing.
Yes.
They really are. Yeah.
They've opened my eyes to a lot of things, and the Revelation, and they've been an eye opener under Revelation.
Well, yeah, free speech. You know, that was a band who was never scared to say what they wanted to say. It was never scared to shock. It was
They're good on them.
Yeah, and there were, and the funny thing is, what he said was, right, their view on sort of like the crop of like pre-manufactured boy bands.
Okay.
And he said, long may that continue.
Oh.
They think it's great because what it does is it turns people off that kind of music and they go and see bands like the Anti-Nowhere League.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
So he said, long may that shit continue. He thinks it's brilliant. So I just thought that was an absolutely brilliant quip.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I've got nothing else. So,
I have.
Go on then.
Yes. We've got the braces. They've got the boots. Let's do lots of oi, 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 stomping.
There you go. I suppose
Yeah.
if they've got the braces and the boots like I have.
Still stomp.
There you go then.
Yeah.
There you go. You heard it
Stomp all
off.
the
You
same.
heard it off Mrs Moonstomper, guys. What more can I say? So I think that just about wraps this up. So we've got loads more great stuff coming up as well. haven't
We
Nice.
have, yes.
We've got some real gems, some real rarities. So we're digging all these obscure bands out, but I think these are the bands that make people smile because there's not enough on YouTube or anywhere about these guys.
So deserve a mention. Deserve like resurrecting as well.
So we're going to dig out punk, oi, you know,
More rock.
skinhead,
Reggae.
reggae, you know, all these obscurities, all the gems, all
That's
the best
it.
ones.
The
And-
forgotten gems.
Yeah, exactly, and the ones that are not so forgotten, you
Okay.
know, yeah, and it's going to be amazing. It really is.
Yes.
It's going to be a journey, and then don't forget after the t-shirt giveaway, we've got a competition up and coming because we've got a few things knocking around the studio we need to give away, and we'd like someone to win those things. And there are a couple of articles there which I think are really, really nice.
That's
and
it.
just a little bit different as
You're
well.
gonna like 'em.
Yeah, exactly, and it's free of charge. Don't forget, guys, subscribe if you can, because some people watch this, they don't subscribe, and I know exactly why, because you watch it on a TV and you're not signed in on a TV. So if you've got a device knocking around, it'll take you 2 seconds. Just set a YouTube up account. It doesn't cost you anything.
No.
And just subscribe, guys.
Please.
If you don't mind,
That's it.
it will really, really help us. What we want to do is get to 5,000 subs by the end of the year, which I know is a bit of an ask. But we're not monetised as well, and we've got no plans to be monetised.
No.
So everything.
Just do it for the love.
Yeah, do it for the love, because it's going to be free. Free. We're not going to ever ask you for money. There's none of that buy us a coffee rubbish. There's none of that Patreon rubbish. It's for you guys, and
That's it.
that's why we want to do it.
That's it. It's for you Moonstomper loonies out there.
For our amusements as well, because even
We enjoy doing this.
even I watch them back,
We do.
which is kind of weird. But then again, because I don't see the full edited version until.
So it's sort of set out and
There you go.
we're ready to roll.
And don't forget, we've got an amazing documentary that's going to pop up in the summer, the UK summer, round about, I think it's round about in June or July, and it coincides with the film festival, and we're looking to win an award on that documentary. That documentary is going to be amazing.
Wow.
So, have you got anything
Tops
else?
amazing.
Anything else, Mrs Moonstomper?
I haven't.
No, I've got nothing else either, apart from, guys,
Nothing.
it's been absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for
Truly.
stopping by. We really appreciate it. We love you so much.
Yes, love you.
I've been Mr Moonstomper.
Mrs Moonstomper says, love you. Bye bye.
Walking down the road with a pistol in your waist, Johnny too bad. Walking down the road with a ratchet in your waist, Johnny too bad. It's just a robbing and a stabbing and a looting and a shooting and you're too bad. It's just a robbing and a stabbing and a looting and a shooting and you're too bad. One of these days, when you hear a voice say come, who you gonna run to? One of these days, when you hear a voice say come, who you gonna run to? You're gonna run to the rock for the rescue, there will be no one. You're gonna run to the rock for the rescue, there will be no one. Walking down the road with a pistol in your waist, Johnny too bad. Walking down the road with a ratchet in your waist, Johnny too bad. It's just a robbing and a stabbing and a looting and a shooting and you're too bad. It's just a robbing and a stabbing and a looting and a shooting and you're too bad. But one of these days, when you hear a voice say come, and who you gonna run to? One of these days, when you hear a voice say come, then who you gonna run to? You're gonna run to the rock for the rescue, there will be no one. You're gonna run to the rock for the rescue, there